Hello, my name is Thomas Noe, and I am going to give you a brief survey of the Economics and Financial Management program at Balliol. This program is a joint program, joint between the Economics faculty and the Said Business School. It's taught by lecturers from the Said Business School and the Economics faculty. It's a very strong program. In fact, it's ranked #1 in the UK of amongst all undergraduate business programs. And so it's very natural that I'm sure many of you are probably interested in finding out some information about the program. The program is at the Said Business School, conducted there. Our MBA is ranked very highly in the world, as you can see. The school is also ranked very highly for its open programs. And more specifically, we're ranked 4th in the world for research in finance and accounting. This is something that makes me very happy because I'm a finance and accounting researcher. The program consists of a first year. So when you first join, you'll start the program doing this first year content. And that consists of 3 papers, one in general management, one in financial management, and one in economics. The financial management component is broken into 2 parts. One component is called financial reporting, and that probably maps into what most of you might think of as accounting. And the second component maps into finance. It's called financial analysis. In addition to doing general management and financial management, you'll also be taking papers in introductory economics, and that will include an introduction to both microeconomics and macroeconomics. So this first year program should give you sort of the basics that you'll need for your next 2 years. It covers the foundational material in economics and management and in finance. And when you finish this material, you'll be assessed on it with an exam, which we call the prelims exam. Assuming you pass your prelims exam, you'll move on to the second 2 years of the program, and that component of the program is much more flexible than the first year. The first year stresses developing common skills. The second year lets you express your own interests through your choice of the papers you want to take. You'll need to take 8 final honors school papers, or 7 with a thesis. And you have a lot of choice amongst these, but you must take at least 2 in management and at least 2 in economics. The management papers sweep over a large swath of management research, ranging from technology and operations management to accounting. Some of the papers are very quantitative. Some of them are not, virtually no quantitative component. Some of them stress economics, some of them stress psychology, some of them use insights from sociology and anthropology. So this is a very large, very diverse group of papers taught by professors with a wide variety of disciplinary backgrounds. You'll also have a lot of choice for economics papers. Too much for me to detail, but the economics papers that students typically take, E&M students, are money and banking, econometrics, game theory, and behavioral and experimental economics. One small caveat here is that within the economics papers, there's a sequencing structure and a prerequisite structure that you'll need to respect. For instance, if you decide you want to take econometrics, you would first need to take another economics course called quantitative economics. Well, despite that fact, you will have a lot of choice, and you'll be assessed on your choices in a final honors school examination. And assuming you pass the final honors school examination, you will then go out into the world and have to do something. And what most of our students do, the something they do, is accept positions at either banks or consulting firms. Other students enter very good graduate programs in economics, finance, and management. In fact, one of the leading researchers in finance now at the London Business School, Alex Edmonds, was an E&M and went through exactly this curriculum. Some also obviously follow other career paths. Some join startups, become involved with social finance, become involved with not-for-profits, work in the government sector, work as journalists. So there's a large variety of careers that students have taken up after finishing the E&M program. Okay, so you should be appropriately excited now about our program. The question that I want to next address is, why would you want to join Balliol College? Why be a Balliol E&M as opposed to an E&M somewhere else? Well, we have a number of things going for us. One of which is we're old, which perhaps is a plus. We were founded in 1263. We're arguably the oldest college in Oxford, although two other colleges would probably want to debate that question. But we are the oldest academic institution in the entire English-speaking world that still sits on its original site. So you, if you end up studying in the Balliol Library, could be studying in the very same space that famous scholars and intellectuals have been studying and thinking in for the last 750 years. There are 12 Nobelists associated with Balliol, either as fellows or as students. And as you can imagine, given that fact, or and many others I could tell you if I had time, there are a lot of clever people wandering around Balliol, so it's a very demanding intellectual environment, but it's also very supportive. You'll find that your tutors really care about you, your success, and they care about you doing well. And that is quite even surprising to me, coming from a very different sort of educational system in the U.S. So you indeed will, if you come to Balliol, you will find tutors who care personally about you. We also have a very well-known and very lively JCR, Junior Common Room, that's involved in many activities, and that's probably a plus. And last but not least, we have a very convenient location. We're right in the center of Oxford, and that means we're right in between the two most distant east-west points in the Oxford academic infrastructure, the economics department and the business school. And those are the two places you'll be taking most of your classes. So it's an extremely good location for an E&M student. What exactly do we have as far as resources for the E&M student at Balliol? Well, we have 6 tutors who teach economics and management: Miguel Ballister, James Porter, Sue Ellen Littleton, me, Thomas Noe, Daniel Suskind, and David Vines. The interests of these fellows range from microeconomics to macroeconomics, finance, general management, organizational behavior. So any questions that you might have during your stay at Balliol, I'm sure one of our fellows could probably answer for you. Your cohort, how many other students, how many other E&Ms will there be? Well, the E&M program itself is not very large. We have about 9 E&M students on campus at any one time. We admit 3 every year. However, there are a number of programs there are a couple of other programs at Balliol which have a large they're large and also have students which will be taking economics courses with you. So we have about 36 politics, philosophy, and economics students, and about 5 history and economics students. So you'll be able during tutorials and during classes to interact with a lot of Balliol students outside of the E&M program. At this point, typically in my presentations when I did these live, all the questions were on the topic of admission, perhaps because everyone, after seeing all this, was very interested in the Balliol program. Well, in the Q&A sessions, I could probably answer more of your questions, but at this point, I just want to say that obviously admission to the E&M program is very competitive. The admissions decisions are made by the fellows and lecturers in the colleges at Oxford. And therefore, they're going to be made by academics who are really concerned about getting the best possible students, and to admit students who are teachable and have the potential to become scholars. Applications are evaluated very holistically, and a great deal of time is spent on admission. We read your essays, we read your letters, we interview you, and we're all this effort is put into picking the best possible students. We have a problem though. Most of you have very stellar credentials. So it's very difficult to select across students. Everyone seems quite good, if you will. And therefore, decisions are typically made collectively, and frequently there's a lot of discussion about each student application and each admission decision. So if you are admitted to Balliol, you can be confident that there were a number of fellows probably discussing your case and comparing you with other students and thinking very hard about whether or not you'd be the best match for our college. Well, after hearing this presentation, I just thought I would end sort of with a slide with a very business-oriented title, The Bottom Line, and tell you that Balliol is a very good place to learn economics and management. You'll be learning it in a top-rated program in the UK. Those are the two pluses. The minus is that given 1 and 2, it's not surprising that admission is very competitive. But on the other hand, also because of 1 and 2, applying for Balliol is well worth your time and effort. And I look forward to your applications and to answering your questions in our question and answer session. Thank you.